There are 6 types of people whose blessings grow thicker the longer they live, and disasters naturally stay away from them. Are you one of these people? In fact, whether a person's fortune in life is good or not, whether they can enjoy blessings or not, is largely determined by the way they cultivate their own mind and character. Below are 6 types of truly wise people, because they know how to send off misfortune and welcome blessings back to themselves. See if you are among them. First, those who accumulate virtue and do good deeds will naturally obtain blessings. The ancients believed that how much blessing a person has is closely related to the good deeds they have done. Such people usually have kind and benevolent hearts. After a long period of doing good and accumulating virtue, their appearance naturally becomes gentle and kind as well. They easily receive the goodwill and support of others. A kind person not only knows how to be filial to their parents and treat others kindly, but also constantly works on improving themselves, getting rid of bad habits in order to reach purity. Such people have faces full of auspicious energy. Even when they fall into difficult circumstances, there will always be someone willing to help them. Because they win people's hearts, even when they encounter adversity, they can still pass through it smoothly. The ancients said that because of a kind heart, even if blessings have not yet arrived, misfortune has already gone far away. That is exactly what this means. Therefore, a person who often does good deeds and puts their heart into them will naturally obtain deep and abundant blessings. Second, those who treat their family well. The greatest happiness in life is not how big your house is, how luxurious your food and clothing are, or how dazzling your career is, but how much joy and happiness there is inside your own home. As we grow older, everyone realizes that everything like friends and material wealth is secondary. Family is what is truly important. It is the greatest support for you in this life. When the family is warm and harmonious, the children grow up well. The father and mother can feel at ease witnessing and enjoying the sweet fruits from all their years of nurturing. After so much hardship, those are the most valuable results, alongside the material achievements each person has built for themselves. When you know how to treat your family members well, your life will become more complete. Third, those who know what is enough. Life is like that. Happiness is never concentrated entirely in one person. Those who have love may not have money. Those who have money may not have joy. Those who are often cheerful may not have good health. Those who are healthy may not experience only pleasant things in life. Many people keep searching for a perfect life, but this is very hard to achieve. So in the end, how can we find joy and happiness for ourselves in this life? The only way, and also the only answer to this question, is to know what is enough. In reality, those who know enough are the richest people under heaven. Because they know enough, they do not chase too much after material wealth, but instead enrich themselves spiritually. Happiness is not when you own a house of a certain size, but when that house is always full of laughter. If you long to live a life full of blessings and meaning, remember this. Know what is enough and stop when it is enough. Fourth, those who are gentle and mild. In the Tao Te Ching, there is a saying, "The strong and hard are the way to death, the soft and weak are the way to life." What is hard and strong stands below, what is soft and weak stands above. The meaning is that what is rigid leads to death, what is soft leads to life. What is rigid is inferior, what is soft is superior. Lao Tzu also wrote that in all under heaven there is nothing more soft and weak than water, yet it can erode and break down all that is hard and strong. Nothing can surpass it, nothing can replace it. Soft overcomes hard, weak overcomes strong. Everyone in the world knows this, yet no one is able to do it. The teeth are hard, the tongue is soft. At the end of life the teeth will all fall out, but the tongue still remains. Therefore, only when a person is gentle and flexible can their life be long. If they are rigid and unyielding, they will only suffer losses. A gentle and open heart is the quality of a highly cultivated person. Moreover, those with gentle hearts usually live more happily and peacefully, and their lifespan also tends to be longer. Fifth, those who can endure. The ancients said, "Endure for a moment, and the wind and waves will calm." Take one step back, and you will see the vast sea and sky. Therefore, patience is both a way to cultivate one's character and an effective way to nourish the body. If a person can carry within themselves a tolerant and magnanimous heart, able to endure, not arguing or fighting, then naturally they can stay far away from gossip and trouble, have no worries or fears, and live a life that is leisurely and free. If you know how to endure, all difficulties will gradually dissolve and be resolved. With wisdom, you can turn big matters into small ones, small matters into nothing, and transform misfortune into good fortune. Sixth, those who understand others. Between people, if there is a lack of understanding, then surely gossip, conflict, and misunderstanding will arise. Moreover, different people also require different ways of communication and interaction. Those with good fortune and luck may see many flaws in others, yet they always maintain compassion and love for all beings. They can see the goodness in others behind their shortcomings. They can accept themselves, accept others, and accept every circumstance. People who can understand others are usually trusted by them, easily confided in, and can mutually support and help one another. If a person possesses all 6 of the above qualities, they are surely someone with deep and abundant blessings. Being around them also makes us feel warm and peaceful. Dear friends, on the journey of life, to some extent, everyone carries within themselves things they regret. When we realize our mistakes, we long to turn back time, to sow the seeds of change for the words we spoke carelessly, the wrong decisions we made, the feelings we neglected. But time does not bend to our wishes. Instead of clinging to the past, let us learn from it and act better. Let us cherish each present moment and build a better future. Regret belongs to what has passed. The future is still waiting for us. Below are 6 regrets in life. If we know them early, we can change in time. 1. When rich and not frugal, in poverty you will regret. This means that when one is wealthy and does not know how to save, one will only regret it in times of hardship. It is easy to go from simplicity to luxury, but difficult to return from luxury to simplicity, because once we are used to spending money like water, then when we fall into poverty, not only will we lack material things, our mind will also struggle to endure. This is exactly the outcome of being rich and not knowing how to be frugal. When something reaches its extreme, it will reverse. When we are in a time of prosperity, we should already be preparing for the time of decline. Zhuge Liang once said in his admonition to my son, "Tranquility is used to cultivate the body. Frugality is used to nourish virtue." A person who does not indulge themselves when they are wealthy will not easily collapse when they fall into difficult circumstances. 2. When in office and acting crookedly, after losing the position you will regret. This means that when holding public office one exploits public resources for personal gain, and only after losing the position does one regret it. Moreover, the greatest misfortune in life is not knowing oneself. Some people stand in important positions and hold great power in their hands. Every decision affects the interests of many people, so they become arrogant and self-satisfied, using the power in their hands to seek personal benefit. But you know, what people revere is the power in your hands, not you yourself. When you leave that position, no one considers you important anymore. There is a fable that tells of a donkey in a temple that diligently turned the millstone every day. One day, the monk led the donkey down the mountain to carry a statue of the Buddha. On the way back to the temple, whenever people on the road saw the donkey, they respectfully knelt down on both sides and bowed toward it. The donkey felt extremely pleased because it did not expect that everyone admired it so much. When it returned to the temple, the donkey considered itself very noble and refused at all costs to pull the millstone any longer. The monk did not know what to do and finally had to let it go down the mountain. Do not have too many illusions about yourself. The donkey went down the mountain and saw a procession beating drums and gongs to escort a bride. The donkey thought that people were welcoming it, so it swaggered into the middle of the road. The procession was blocked by the donkey and became extremely angry. They took sticks and beat it fiercely. The donkey panicked and ran back to the temple and asked the monk, "Why is it that last time when I went down the mountain, everyone bowed and knelt to me, but today they treat me so cruelly?" The monk sighed and said, "You truly are a foolish donkey. That day people were bowing to the Buddha statue on your back, not to you. Only when you know your own place can you restrain your selfishness and avoid making serious mistakes." 3. When young and not diligent in study, in old age you will regret. This means that if in youth we do not care about studying, we will only regret it when we grow old. There is a saying, "Your free time determines your life." Everyone has the same amount of time, but how you use your time determines the rest of your life. 4. When safe and not knowing how to rest. In illness you will regret. This means that when you are healthy and at peace but do not know how to rest, you will only regret it when you fall ill. We are often like this. We do not cherish what we have in our hands and only feel sorry when we lose it. Not cherishing our youth, wasting it in indulgence, destroying our health without thinking of the illnesses and pains of old age. Many people, while still young, already suffer from all kinds of diseases of the elderly, and the reason is always that they did not know how to take care of their health. People only start to regret when they have to lie in a hospital bed, but by then it is too late. Once health is lost, how can it ever be fully regained? 5. When encountering events and not learning. When it is time to use that knowledge, you will regret. This means that when facing situations, one does not accumulate knowledge and experience, and only when it is time to make use of them does one regret it. Learning is a lifelong task. At any age, there is something worthy for you to learn. The question is whether you are willing to learn or not. Every incident in life is a lesson for you. If you cannot draw experience from it, you will have to learn the same lesson again. 6. When drunk and speaking wildly. Once sober, you will regret. This means that when drunk one speaks recklessly, and only when sober does one regret it. In the Long Agama Sutra, it is said that drinking alcohol leads to 6 kinds of faults. First, loss of money. Second, illness arises. Third, causing trouble. Fourth, a bad reputation spreads. Fifth, anger erupts. Sixth, wisdom is damaged. There is a saying, if you want to know a person's character, look at how they drink. This saying is very meaningful. People can drink alcohol and drink a lot. When they are drunk, their mouth keeps talking nonstop and they dare to say anything. When they wake up, they regret it and say that they drank too much at the time. People with integrity, even when they drink, are very moderate. They do not let themselves lose control and do disgraceful things. Dear friends, from ancient times until now, whether sages or ordinary farmers, anyone who wants to accomplish great things must cultivate patience and not be afraid of hardship or suffering. Those who only wish to enjoy comfort and ease will find it difficult to accomplish even small things, let alone great ones. Because a leisurely life can be a kind of blessing, but if one is idle for too long, it is not necessarily a good thing, since idleness leads to wrongdoing. Idleness can wear down a person's will. First, idleness buries a person's willpower. People often make mistakes first and then are able to correct them. Only after tasting inner suffering do we know how to weigh and calculate the future. Born in hardship, die in comfort. Just as people often say, idleness leads to wrongdoing. The root cause of a person's failure is not a lack of ability, but an excessive desire to enjoy pleasure during their free and easy time. When people stay too long in a comfortable environment, they become lazy and do not want to think. Over time, they become dull and their will is eroded. This is not to say that you are not allowed to enjoy leisure. Do people not say that in life they only wish for peace and ease? But there is also the saying, after suffering comes sweetness. Only after going through many hardships and difficulties and then enjoying a bit of ease do we feel true happiness. If you spend all your days in comfort and pleasure, that happiness is also half-hearted and you cannot truly feel the meaning of life. People say that true peace is the calmness of heart after one has gone through all the ups and downs of human affairs. If you have not yet seen the world but already want to hide away in seclusion, then in the end you are merely a frog sitting at the bottom of a well. If you run away and do not want to face the problems of life, that is laziness and stagnation, not true leisure. Life is like a boat going upstream. If you do not move forward, you will surely drift backward. Excessive idleness is a great taboo of life. A person who is too idle will lose their goals, and when there are no more goals, life will gradually become meaningless and they will slowly become a wasted person. Dear friends, let us constantly draw lessons, accumulate value, and train ourselves every day through difficulties. Only then can we continually grow along with the flow of time. Each level of understanding is an important milestone that a person may strive for their entire life and still not reach. But once they do reach it, they will naturally understand what true freedom is, what true peace is, and what it means to be happy with their own life. In ancient times there was a saying, painting a tiger, You can paint its skin, but not its bones. Knowing a person's face does not mean knowing their heart. It is not easy to judge a person, but the Analects proposes 3 steps to see through a person as follows. Observe what they do, examine the reasons they do it, and see what brings them peace and joy. That is, look at what they do, see why they do it, and examine what makes them feel at ease. Then you will know what kind of person they are. What kind of person they are? How can that be hidden? How can it be hidden? First, observe what they do. Look at what a person does. For a person, you first look at what they actually do, whether what is expressed on the surface is good or bad. That is to say, when looking at others, you should not begin by judging their motives, but should first look at the moral result of their actions themselves. There is an old saying, to evaluate the goodness of others, one should rely on their deeds, not necessarily probe deeply into their hearts. The meaning is that when assessing a person's goodness, you rely on the traces and results, and do not need to scrutinize their inner thoughts too much. The reason lies in the fact that human emotions are often unstable, and there is even a mixture of good and evil. Moreover, when a good intention leads to a bad result, people easily sympathize and forgive, but in fact this is not fully in line with the most upright moral principles. Therefore, when looking at people, the first thing is to examine the outward results in their behavior. Second, examine the reasons they do it. See the reasons behind their actions. Good behavior can be a disguise. Bad behavior can come from mistakes. This is precisely entering the second level, observing the motives behind those actions. When people do something, there is always a cause, and most of the time that cause comes from the person themselves. Some do it for profit, some for fame, some for affection, some for the desire to be recognized, some for the wish to show themselves. It is very rare that it is completely selfless. This is the first reason that needs to be examined. The gentleman loves wealth but takes it in accordance with the way. A gentleman also likes benefits, but he must obtain them through proper principles. The starting point is from the individual, yet because of righteousness, his actions are different. Therefore, we must look at whether, in the process of doing things, a person can choose their behavior based on righteousness or not. This is the second reason that needs to be examined. For matters that have undesirable results but arise from good motives, or are due to mistakes, it is clear that responsibility still needs to be borne. The faults of a gentleman are like the eclipse of the sun and moon. Everyone can see them. People cannot be entirely free from mistakes. What is important is whether, after making mistakes, they can promptly correct themselves. Even when doing good deeds, there are several kinds of motives. Truly doing good, pretending to do good, or doing good while inwardly feeling forced or resentful. If it is true goodness, there is nothing to discuss. If it is fake goodness, then there are hidden agendas in the heart, and the very act of disguising oneself already lowers one's moral worth. Doing good while calculating and keeping score has no true moral value within it. As for those who do good while inwardly feeling forced to endure it, how should we regard them? This is explained in the third step. Third, examine what brings them peace and joy. Consider what makes a person feel at ease and happy. Observing where their sense of ease comes from is the final step to understanding someone's inner state. This answers the question about those who endure and still do good. That is, they do good deeds with proper motives, yet they themselves do not feel joyful when doing them. For example, when donating to support victims of a natural disaster, everyone donates, so we also donate, but only to follow the trend. In our heart, we do not feel happy or moved by the act. This kind of charitable intention is not consistent. The person is not truly at peace with what they are doing. Examine what brings them peace means that we must clearly distinguish where a person's heart is truly placed. Observing whether someone feels at ease or not is in fact looking at what fills their heart and makes them feel joy. Some people put all their effort into their work every day, full of energy and determination because they hope to achieve something in the future. Others prefer a quiet life, seeking relaxation and freedom. Thus, each person pursues a different kind of life, and the same is true in every action. There is a saying, things gather by kind, people group by type. It is very difficult for very different people to live together harmoniously for long. Therefore, when observing someone, we can usually know their heart through the friends they like to spend time with, where a person is rooted and what they attach themselves to. Using this method to judge someone makes your assessment much more reliable. Thus, by observing a person's behavior, their motives, and what brings them joy, you can come to understand them. Everyone in this world is pursuing one word: peace. Where that peace resides will determine what kind of person you become. Dear friends, in our lives there are really only three kinds of matters: our own affairs, other people's affairs, and heaven's affairs. Our own affairs are those we can manage ourselves. Second are other people's affairs. Third are heaven's affairs, which are the things beyond the scope of our ability. However, people feel troubled mainly because they like to interfere in other people's business and worry about matters of heaven. In fact, if you want to live freely and at ease, it is not difficult. You only need to handle your own affairs well, interfere less in the affairs of others, and not worry about the affairs of heaven. First, to be happy in life, you must know how to be patient. When you feel disappointed in yourself, when your life falls into a dead end and your dreams cannot be fulfilled, pause for a moment and look around. See how many people feel that life is meaningful because you exist. You may not believe that your existence affects many people and many things. So do not underestimate your own value. Why does heaven not reward good people? Heaven creates conditions for you to become a good person, one who brings much joy to others. Is that not already the greatest reward? Therefore, you should be grateful for everything you have been given in this life. Everyone has times when they fall into hardship. Yet at such times we need even more to be patient, full of faith, to wait, and to keep trying without giving up. Heaven does not abandon anyone, and even less does heaven abandon good people. The road to success must be walked by yourself, step by step. Only the final step gives you the feeling of glory, while most of the steps before are ordinary and dull. However, without those winding, difficult steps, we would have no way to welcome the final joy and success. So you must learn to be patient. Second, to be happy in life, you must learn to let go. When you become an adult, you will have to carry many burdens on your shoulders. Responsibility to your parents, your spouse and children, your company, your relatives. You walk on, tired, hoping that you will see the bright sunlight at the end of the road. But often, no matter how hard we try, we still cannot escape the dark clouds hanging over our heads. In fact, living a joyful life is not difficult. You only need to take things more lightly, be content with what you have, live simply, put down your heavy baggage, and reduce your excessive pursuits. Then you will naturally feel happiness. Happiness is not about obtaining something. It is simply a feeling. Happiness is like an aftertaste that lingers in the heart, containing enough sour, sweet, bitter, and spicy notes. The dreams we once pursued, happiness is just like those dreams. When the wrinkles of the years spent chasing those dreams appear all over our forehead, we can still calmly smile, without regret or remorse. Happiness is like an imaginary cup, in which we hope to ferment ordinary grains of rice into a fragrant nectar, then use our lifetime to wait for it and keep it safe. Happiness is like a light. When you walk through the night, at every doorway there will always be a warm lamp gently lighting your way home. Dear friends, a truly strong person will certainly have a quiet inner world, a warm heart, and a clear, wise mind. Such a person has surely gone through howling storms, contemplated deep and remote valleys, and witnessed the countless forms of human life. May it be that on our life's journey, no matter what circumstances we face, we can all stand strong and resilient with wisdom and become people with strong inner strength. The weak are often quick to rage like tigers, and they tend easily to explode in fury. The strong are calm like water and remain steady and balanced. When the mind is not calm, everywhere is waves and storms. Even the smallest matter will be magnified many times over. A person whose inner world is not strong will always lack a sense of security. Not being strong enough means they are easily influenced by the outside world, often overly concerned with what others think or controlled by others' gaze and words. As a result, they lose the ability to make independent judgments and easily become restless and unsettled. This shows that the weak flare up in anger like a ferocious tiger, while the strong are calm and still like deep water. So, if we want to become someone with a strong inner life, we need to embody 6 major qualities as follows. First, be yourself. Be yourself and do not try to please everyone. If you cannot do this now, you will not be able to do it in the future. No one is perfect in every way. Your human life does not need to be lived according to other people's words. There are many important things waiting for you to accomplish. People with strong inner strength rarely pay much attention to other people's opinions, whether they are acquaintances or strangers. Like positive and optimistic people, they pay little attention to negative information. Even if they see it, in an instant it is blocked or fades away, because they understand very clearly where they stand and what they are pursuing. When they encounter obstacles, they think of every way to remove them. When they meet setbacks, they do not easily give up or collapse. When you overcome difficulties, you gain more strength. When you tackle problems, you gain more wisdom. When you step out of the darkness, you see the light of faith and hope. For those with strong inner strength, these things are simply parts of the path they are destined to walk in this human life. Second, think without limitation. Keep a long vision and a broad heart. If, throughout your entire life, you only know how to calculate and compare every little thing, then sooner or later others will calculate and compare you in the same way. Life is like driving a car. When you go 30 kilometers farther than others, you will experience feelings and insights that others do not have. Life is like flying a plane. When you fly 90 kilometers higher than others, you will see wild and magnificent natural scenes that are different from what everyone else sees. That is to say, when you pursue a brighter, higher, and farther vision, you no longer need to worry about the narrow gazes of those around you. Everything will pass by like wind and drifting clouds, unable to affect you. Beyond the vast open sky lies the escape from the shackles of narrow-mindedness. Beyond the door of freedom lies the removal of the constraints of empty formalism. Third, be highly disciplined and able to laugh at yourself. Why not be confident in yourself? A person who lacks confidence has a rather weak inner world. A confident person is usually full of faith in themselves. When they work, they carry a powerful positive energy moving them forward, and in every moment they are full of feeling and vitality. A confident person who truly has knowledge and ability in their heart, even if they keep trying and failing, will one day still climb to the top of the mountain. Where does human confidence ultimately come from? How can we cultivate our own confidence? Those who are truly confident often start with a high level of self-discipline. So what is discipline? Discipline is self-management and self-restraint. This is a very important ability. You must first learn to control yourself, manage your life according to a strict schedule, and only then can you constantly forge your confidence through this discipline. Besides discipline, the ability to laugh at yourself is also very important. The world is vast, and there are all kinds of birds in the sky. One day, when you achieve something, many people, whether they know you or not, will freely talk about you behind your back. At first, they may pick apart your flaws. They may quote you out of context, taking a few sentences that are convenient for them from your whole story and using them to discuss you. They may even slander you in a tasteless and petty way. Self-deprecating humor means being able to laugh at yourself, to joke about yourself in a light and humorous way. Self-mockery is a form of communication, but also a state of mind and a kind of cultivation. You need to truly see those vulgar and trivial people clearly and be better at joking about yourself than they are. When they find there is nothing left to be entertained by, they will leave in embarrassment. Fourth, you must go through despair. The meaning of going through despair is that you have to step into those years. Perhaps you have never experienced despair. That does not mean that you are not strong, but it certainly means that you cannot be as strong as those who have gone through utter despair. Someone who has never experienced despair lives a life that is not complete. Despair can create loneliness in a person. When they cannot face a particular emotional or career setback, it naturally becomes an important and unavoidable state they must encounter. It is not about consciously choosing it, but about preparing your mind so that when you have to face despair, you can accept it calmly and without fear. At that time, you may suffer intensely and even lose your sense of self. Finding boundless hope within despair is what makes a human life worth experiencing. A strong person is not someone who can conquer things, but someone who can bear them. Only after going through certain events can you truly understand their meaning and see the true face of human life. Despair itself is not what is frightening. What is frightening is losing the courage and fierce feeling inside your heart. Just bravely run through despair, but do not let it swallow you. On the contrary, you must pass through it as if pushing back the night in order to welcome the bright light. Fifth, cultivating the ability to be lonely and the ability to be alone are two completely different things that people often confuse. People usually see communication as an important skill, but overlook the fact that the ability to be alone is no less important. In fact, in a certain sense, it is an even more crucial capacity than communication. If we say that not being good at communication is a weakness, then being unable to endure being alone is truly a deficiency of the soul. Only when you can bear loneliness can you stand firm in your own position and not simply follow the crowd. Loneliness is the burning joy of an individual, while frenzied joy is often the loneliness of an entire crowd. Therefore, growing up means that the older you get, the more you learn how to adapt to everything on your own. In the moments when you are by yourself, you can discover what you truly love, what you are passionate about, and you can cultivate your ability to make independent judgments. Only when a person learns how to love themselves can they truly have the capacity to love others. If you do not learn how to talk to yourself, then communicating with others will be even more difficult. The more someone is able to be alone, the more they can face and understand adversity, and the better they can live in harmony with others. Sixth, you truly need a genuine faith. Human life is indeed extremely short. No matter what you hold on to, in the end you still need a true and sincere belief. In this era, almost everyone has some kind of belief. It is just that each person believes in different things. Some place their faith in power, some admire wealth, some believe in their ego, some are filled with hope and love, some long for happiness, some love good food, some trust in systems or institutions. And there are those whose belief is that whatever you put your faith in is only truly right when it teaches people to turn their hearts toward goodness, to live selflessly, and to always cherish and honor life. Any belief needs to be carefully examined and understood before you follow it. Only then can it be called true faith. If it is only for the sake of livelihood, fame, profit, or status, then that so-called faith is nothing more than bait luring people faster toward destruction. Wisdom and truth are worlds apart. Learning to yearn for and revere truth goes far beyond merely chasing after knowledge. Truth can give people the wisdom to deal with all things, to be tolerant when facing complex relationships, to keep their faith firm, and to move straight ahead on the path of life. When that happens, you can calmly and leisurely face the darkness in human nature and the tragedies of the world, while still keeping your kind heart intact and pure. Dear friends, this human body is hard to obtain. Therefore, in this life, we must have cultivation and character. Do not let yourself drift like floating weeds in the current, surrendering to circumstances and then having to live in regret. Remember the 7 words below and live by them. When you do, you are already a person of refinement. First, frugality can create wealth. Some people earn money and spend it all in just a few days, yet others work hard, live thriftily, and are as diligent and careful as bees. When living under clear skies, you must think of rainy days. When you are in times of plenty, do not forget that hardship may come. From ancient times until now, successful people have always possessed this virtue. Second, tolerance nourishes your inner energy. A person who understands the way of tolerance will have a broad and open heart. They do not haggle over winning and losing, nor do they always try to take advantage for themselves. They do not seek joy in things that benefit themselves while harming others. The more you calculate and compare in life, the more tiring it becomes, both materially and spiritually. In life, if you take one step back, the sea and sky will become vast. If you yield one step, you gain more friends and fewer enemies. Being tolerant of others is actually sowing blessings for yourself. Third, patience nourishes blessings. Many times in life we live only for a bit of pride or ego, yet unpleasant things in life make up 8 or 9 parts out of 10. So life is inevitably filled with troubles, and we must inevitably go through hardships. To achieve great things, you must have great character, and one with great character must have a great capacity to endure. Patience is not escaping from hardship or suppressing your heart. It is facing hardship and using a gentle, loving attitude to harmonize all things. Patience is not weakness or cowardice, but an expression of strong will and inner cultivation. This is also a kind of powerful energy that accumulates over a lifetime. When the right time comes, it can burst forth into an unstoppable strength. Fourth, kindness nourishes virtue. In this world, there is something more precious than anything else, and that is an inherently kind nature. Intelligence is a gift, but kindness is a choice. Living kindly may not bring you everything you want, but it will allow you to share happiness with many people. There is a saying, "Those who sow goodness will meet goodness. Those who are virtuous will be blessed by heaven." Kind people are often lucky because they align with the original goodness of creation. There is also an old saying, "At the beginning, human nature is good. People are born with kindness." To live kindly is to return to the most original nature of ourselves. Fifth, joy can nourish beauty. A cheerful, open state of mind is the secret to longevity. The best way to preserve youthfulness is to always keep a joyful and relaxed inner world. People do not stop playing because they grow old. They grow old because they stop playing. A smile is one of the most beautiful adornments a person can wear and the simplest, quickest way to connect people with one another. Sixth, compassion nourishes the heart. Why is it that some people become more compassionate and kind as they grow older, while others become cruel, harsh, and full of resentment? You have surely met many elderly people whose demeanor is calm, graceful, and composed. Throughout their lives, they have maintained a heart that loves nature and loves life. Those who spend their days in blame and anger at everything will sooner or later have their minds clouded by sorrow and resentment, unable to find a single truly happy day. If you want to maintain a loving heart, then every word and every action, every gesture of yours must express love and warmth. Whatever the heart is filled with, life will reflect. People who always harbor resentment or evil tendencies in their hearts will constantly think of injustice and dissatisfaction, and their wisdom cannot flow freely. Seventh, sincerity nourishes character. This is the most important principle in building relationships. We all hope that others will treat us sincerely. Therefore, treat others sincerely first, and you will receive the same in return. A person who is honest and pure will also have a dignified and beautiful presence, and even the light in their eyes will shine. Dear friends, if we always keep a kind heart toward others, it will help us feel lighter when we are hurt or pushed into a dead end, because we understand that if we harm others, our own conscience will never be at peace. Forgiving the mistakes of others will help us feel more at ease. First, embrace loss and suffering. No one grows up without ever having gone through pain, loss, or dead ends. Life is impermanent, and no one is perfect. The days we exist in this temporary world are a blended whole of good and bad, happiness and pain at different levels. Imperfection is the common trait of humanity. Be tolerant and accepting of your own shortcomings, of the causes that led to your deadlocks. Let go of the mistakes of others that indirectly created your own impasses. Erase those developments that did not go as you wished, the very roots that gave rise to your stuckness. This is also a way to get through one of the 300 shakes in a lifetime. This helps your soul become lighter. From there, you will feel that all sorrow and misfortune in life were things that were bound to happen. Even if time were to turn back, they would still occur. Whether that day you turned left or turned right, the destination of that road would still be deadlocked, a trial that life brings to test your perseverance. However, be sure that you clearly distinguish between harmonizing with the deadlocks in life so that you feel lighter and have enough confidence to do better, and abusing the age-old rule that everyone will be stuck and suffer anyway, using that as an excuse, seeing it as something objectively inevitable, and then making no effort to overcome storms and trials. The days of feeling stuck are like seeds of sadness. Hold them gently to soothe them, then rise up from there. Let go of all lingering sorrow and cultivate a new field full of seeds of joy, success, and greater happiness. Second, self-respect and empathy. Self-respect is another kind of weapon to counter anger. This means you should see yourself accurately, honestly, and objectively. That is, neither exaggerating nor belittling your own value. Grasp clearly all your strengths and weaknesses so that when you encounter some knot or entanglement, you will always remember who you are and where you stand in this vast universe. This self-respect helps you to be aware of your value so that you do not need to struggle to prove yourself again when others insult you, and you do not let failure and pain weigh you down. Therefore, When you face deadlocks, you will always recognize that no matter how others insult, curse, or try to hurt you, they cannot change your human worth. With empathy grounded in a kind heart, you will feel lighter when others hurt you, cause you pain, or push you into exhaustion and impasse, because you understand that when someone deliberately harms others, their conscience can never be peaceful and serene. At that point, it will be easier for you to forgive, to grant amnesty, and the deadlock will gradually be untied. Your soul will not only be peaceful and light, but will also transform anger into love and forgiveness. Third, contemplative reflection from a compassionate heart. When facing deadlock, a common pattern is that people fall into exhaustion and waves of negative thoughts keep rushing in. There must have been times when death seemed to be the only thing left in your mind. In such moments, you see life only in black. The deep wounds make you lose direction, unable to distinguish right from wrong. A pessimistic eye leaves you with no goodwill to continue living. This makes you forget a truth that is always there. Family, loved ones, and friends are still by your side, protecting you, sheltering you, and loving you unconditionally. In this life, not everyone who is disappointed will fall into despair, and not everyone who despairs will accept sinking forever in suffering. Therefore, look with calm and accurate contemplation from a compassionate heart to find the key point of the problem, trace back to the root of the pain, understand it, and gradually resolve it. Fourth, meditate and visit a temple. In times of deadlock, failure, and exhaustion, the best way to help you get through the pain is to let your mind rest in peace, to heal and find harmony, to seek tranquility. Try sitting in meditation or visiting a temple, listening to Dharma talks so that your soul can become pure, dissolving all sorrows, worries, tension, deadlocks, and failures. If you have the chance, join a short retreat so that the noisy, chaotic world outside can briefly close, and within a space filled with the Buddha Dharma, your soul will feel more peaceful and relaxed. Create for yourself a balanced inner world. When that happens, it will naturally lead to peace in your outer world as well. Fifth, understanding the law of karma and retribution. Always believe that everything that unfolds in this life has its causes and conditions, including your deadlocks. What you are facing now did not appear by accident. It is the karmic basis, the karmic debt you must repay for mistakes in past lives, or it may be the direct result of the seeds you sowed in this very life. Life is impermanent, a chain of days of repaying karmic debts for past wrongs in order to move toward completion. Take some time to reflect on the construction of your own life, to look at each right and wrong moment, each fall, so you can better understand the causes that gave rise to the current deadlocks and failures. From there, live more wonderfully in every moment, because all beings have to go through countless cycles of birth and death to be born human. To be human is truly precious. Every second of life is a blessing of this human existence. Do not do anything unwholesome, because the law of cause and effect spares no one. According to the Buddha, when a person sows unwholesome karma, they will have to endure suffering and sinking in future lives. Understanding and believing in the law of cause and effect will help you transform all deadlocks and anger into a sense of understanding life from the standpoint of an aware, knowledgeable person who lives with a sincere and beautiful heart. From there, in dealing with others, you will always cherish everyone with the most compassionate heart. And naturally, as the saying goes, you reap what you sow. You will live in the loving embrace of family and society. Success will always come knocking at your door, and you will always be at peace and happy. Life is like a river, sometimes winding, sometimes straight, sometimes full, sometimes shallow. Deadlocks and stuck moments are necessary in life to test the instinct to rise above all pain, with the most wonderful heart, moving toward the peaceful and pure realm of nirvana. Therefore, when you stand in front of deadlock, do not rush to surrender. Failure shapes life, wounds bring maturity, and deadlocks build a resilient self. Keep standing up, keep smiling, and keep walking forward with the best heart you can offer. Dear friends, letting go is a kind of liberation and also a kind of awakening. Letting go is a choice of the heart and temperament, and at the same time it is the wisdom of human life. Only when one learns to let go can one reduce suffering and truly be happy. For that reason, let go of these 6 things to change your life. First, let go of resentment. Resentment diminishes character, reduces passion, and destroys a person's will. Life is not always smooth sailing. There will be clear blue skies, and there will also be cloudy, overcast ones. There will be favorable circumstances, and there will be adverse ones. Anything that dissatisfies you is a kind of test, a challenge, a form of training. Resentment cannot solve problems. It only increases trouble. Instead of blaming everything, better to let go so you can be happy and continue striving with ease. Failure is the stepping stone to future success. Resentment and blame only create more obstacles on the road to success. If you know how to let go of resentment, your state of mind will stabilize and you will be able to face and endure difficulties and trials. Second, let go of your own narrowness. The ancients said, "When the heart is without selfishness, heaven and earth open wide." When the heart is full of selfishness, every step is difficult and heavy. Tolerance is a beautiful virtue. Being tolerant of others is in fact widening the road for yourself. A tolerant person is not obsessed with gain and loss, winning and losing. Such a person can calmly face all the joy, anger, love, and hatred of human life. Only someone with a generous heart can hold many things, achieve great undertakings, and live joyfully and happily. In life, each of us bears burdens brought by others and also burdens we create ourselves. Some people sink into them, while others can free themselves. The difference lies in whether that person can adjust their mindset, whether they can put things down and let them go or not. Third, let go of pressure. The reason people live in exhaustion is because they think too much and their hearts are crushed by inner pressure. Physical tiredness is not what is truly frightening. What is frightening is spiritual exhaustion. When the spirit is exhausted, it affects your mood and gradually damages your physical health. Therefore, a person must be able to release inner pressure from time to time as a way to cleanse their heart. Whether a person feels tired or not is determined by their mindset. Every day, each of us goes through many events, happy ones and painful ones. When the heart is filled with too many things, it becomes chaotic and disordered. At such times, if you can let go of some of the painful matters, you will create more space for joy and happiness. Fourth, let go of negative thinking. The ancients said, "Appearance is born from the mind. Circumstances change according to the mind." If a person's thinking is negative, the circumstances of their life will not be good either. That is why every day we need to maintain an optimistic and positive mindset. Think more about good things and remove unnecessary stray thoughts. A pessimistic person's spirit declines. When they look at any problem, they only see the bad side, and when they think about anything, they always imagine failure. They often feel inferior to others. Another saying goes, "Heaven gives birth to everyone with a use." Each person has their own outstanding strengths. If you can bring your strengths into play and wholeheartedly do what you are capable of, after a period of time, you will surely achieve certain results. Fifth, let go of worries. If a person wants to learn how to let go of worries, they must first learn how to accept things, live in accord with nature, calmly face misfortune in life, and treat human existence with a positive attitude, thinking more of the good. Many people suffer because they are always thinking about the negative and dark things that have happened. When something is wrong and you have already realized it, then look forward and continue walking. If you only sit there regretting, you will only sink into that torment and pain. Too many worries and sorrows make people tired. So why not put them down so that the rest of your life can be lived at ease and in lightness? Sixth, let go of inferiority. Not everyone can become a great person, but everyone can become a person with a strong inner life. If a person believes in themselves and finds their proper place, they can live a life of value, knowing what they can do and what they cannot do. Let go of feelings of inferiority, because they trap you inside a forbidden circle. Broaden your way of thinking. Perhaps you will fly even higher than you ever imagined. Dear friends, greed is one of the sins of humanity that we encounter in daily life. Its craving can make us lose balance in life and disturb our hearts. When we are obsessed by greed, we often forget the true values of life, such as love, family, and health. Instead of focusing on things that are not truly important, we should learn to reevaluate our true values and seek to live a more meaningful, more complete, and happier life. The first thing is alcohol. The first thing we should not be greedy for is alcohol. Although in the past poets often mentioned the existence of wine in poetry, many people associate it with chaotic, negative, and sorrowful emotions. Many people become addicted to alcohol because life is not as they wish, and then they sink into it, lost and unable to escape. Alcohol addiction heavily affects a person's spirit, making them less clear-minded, unable to control themselves, and even prone to causing disasters. In ancient times as well as today, the consequences of alcoholism still exist everywhere in life. It is said that in ancient times, when King Yao first drank wine, he found it extremely delicious. He drank a large jar of wine and slept for 3 days and 3 nights. When he woke up, King Yao felt it was too wasteful of time. So from then on he never touched alcohol again and even forbade everyone from drinking it. Today there are many heartbreaking cases related to alcohol. Getting drunk and behaving badly, getting drunk and killing friends or family, getting drunk and causing traffic accidents, and afterwards someone dies and someone else is trapped in the net of the law. Second is lust, which we must not be greedy for. The next thing is lust. The ancients said that lust is a blade scraping the bone. If a person is excessively obsessed with sexual desire, they will easily damage their vital energy, leading to illness and also causing mental problems. This will affect their fighting spirit and passion. People often say that when water is full it will overflow, when the moon is full it will wane. If in youth one does not know how to restrain desire, then by the time old age comes, it will be too late to regret. There is also a saying that above the character for lust, there is a knife. In reality, the meaning is that if you indulge in desire to excess, it will certainly cause serious harm to your physical health. Third is wealth. Wealth is the last thing we should not crave excessively, because the result of greed for money can be that it pushes and drives a person to make money at all costs just to satisfy their personal desires. Those who are overly greedy for money will always live in a state of guarding against their own family and friends. As a result, they cannot truly feel family affection, friendship, or love. Material wealth never belongs to us forever. If in the process of striving your eyes can only see money, your vision will easily narrow and you will not see the long-term benefits. As human beings, no matter which era, country, or circumstance we live in, we all long for a good life, and many people have given their all to realize that dream. In the process of making that dream come true, however, please remember not to be greedy for the 3 things of alcohol, lust, and wealth. These 3 must not be indulged in excessively. Otherwise, you will fall into a tragic end, bring disaster upon yourself, make your family suffer, and become a burden to society. Greed is like a poisonous snake. It harms others and makes people become ugly. It is something harmful, yet many people consider it a tonic, and they themselves feed it until it grows larger and larger, making them blind and frantic, even using every scheme and petty trick just to achieve their own small selfish goals. Gradually, we lose ourselves and no longer have the values we once had. By the time we look back, it is already too late to repair anything. So choose a way of living for yourself. Do not be greedy for alcohol, lust, and wealth. Learn to treasure what you already have and strive to create good things. Dear friends, a human life is like spring, summer, autumn, and winter. We come from dust and return to emptiness. We are only passing guests at this and called the human world, arriving with empty hands and leaving with empty hands. Therefore, let go of greed. Take knowing what is enough as your joy. Take going with conditions as your way of life. Cultivate your heart and character. Return to your true nature. And when body and mind are pure, life will naturally be peaceful and happy. Dear friends, whether one's fate is good or bad partly comes from the mouth. The mouth can accumulate blessings and increase wealth and honor, but it can also consume and damage your blessings. Even great good fortune and destiny can be lost because of it. For a truly intelligent person, the greatest wisdom is to restrain their mouth and know which things should not be asked. First, if it has nothing to do with you, do not ask. Some people say that in this world there are only 2 kinds of matters: things related to you and things related to me. People tend to overemphasize themselves, thinking that without them the earth would stop turning. In reality, you are not that important. Without you, the earth will still turn. Without you, others can still live just fine. If something has nothing to do with you, do not insist on probing and eavesdropping. You may have good intentions, but not everyone can understand those good intentions. If your kindness accidentally makes things worse, then you will not only bring more trouble to others, but you yourself will not be at peace either. Second, do not ask about an uncertain future. There is an old saying that sometimes keeping a low profile and not showing off is a way to protect your own interests. When it comes to things you do not yet know about the future, it is best not to ask this person and that person, but to quietly keep working hard. No one can hold the future in their hands. What we can truly do well is to hold on to the present. If you rush to probe and investigate things that have not yet happened, you will only make yourself more confused, your emotions more unsettled, and you will not be able to focus on your work. If you cannot give your best effort in the present, the future will forever remain just an illusion. Third, do not insist on digging to the very end. In study, asking to the very end is a good thing, but in life, digging too deeply can hurt feelings. Water that is too clear has no fish, and a person who is too inquisitive has no one to be close to. The more you dig to the root of a matter, the deeper the pain and the larger the wound. Being blurred is a kind of learning. Sometimes pretending to be foolish, sometimes closing one eye and opening the other, is actually a kind of protection. For things that others do not want you to know, do not question them to the bitter end, insisting on making everything black and white and crystal clear. The world is not divided into pure black and white. Between black and white there is always a gray area. Whether it is friends or lovers, parents or children, everyone needs a bit of personal space to breathe, and everyone has their own unspeakable emotional secrets. Fourth, focus on putting more effort into the present. Do not ask. We have often been advised to live only in the present, but sometimes you feel stuck right in this present moment. Even so, do not doubt yourself. Put in more effort so that you can become stronger in your current situation. However, no one asks you to push yourself beyond your limits and collapse quickly. Just try a little more each day, and one day in the future you will be repaid. Sometimes, when we long for something, we have not yet reached it, but the results of the past have already carried us to where we are today. Therefore, do not be too trapped or bind yourself too tightly to the problems of the present. Even if the present does not go as you wish, you will not regret it. Even if you are satisfied with the present, do not become arrogant or complacent. Loosen the demands you place on yourself. As long as you are willing to keep trying, it is never too late at any time. The road to the future is always under your own feet, not in the eyes of others. Keep making efforts, do not give up, so that later, if you have the chance to look back, you will realize that it was not such a big deal after all. Time is the best medicine for all impulsive weakness, so that the future can become more steady. Dear friends, the meaning of our life lies in the tempering of the soul and the cultivation of character. The reason is that all the material things people are pursuing will leave us at the moment we depart from this world. The only thing a person truly possesses is their own soul. A person who is determined and wishes to live for their soul will inevitably be broad-minded and generous. This is also the highest realm of cultivation for a human life. First, all things have a soul, for that is eternal life. The spiritual realm is a person's thinking, awakening, and spiritual cultivation, as well as their ability to self-correct. It shows the depth of a person's effort in cultivating and changing themselves. The height of a person's spiritual realm is not measured by status or how much money they have, but by their attitude toward things, by how deeply they understand life, and even by their attitude toward birth, aging, sickness, and death. When a person's understanding changes, the world changes with it. A person will gradually comprehend the truth of life and continuously expand their inner spiritual space as their life moves toward the moment of death. The bigger the space of the soul, the more life can unfold to see and embrace, and the broader and more vast the realm of that life will become. What each life goes through is different. Some experiences are beautiful and fortunate, but the majority are ordinary and common. To find a way out of death, you must endure suffering in times of despair. To create achievements that amaze others, you must endure trials and obstacles. The human soul is the true essence of life. The Bible also tells us how, in the beginning, God created humankind. God formed man from the dust of the ground, then breathed the breath of life into his nostrils, and that man became a living being named Adam. This explains clearly that the human body was formed by God from dust, that is, from different elements. But God also needed to breathe life into him for him to become a living being. God created this complex human world in such a subtle and meticulous way that it remains a mystery to this day. Yet think about it. We, who were created by God, use human wisdom and order to create sophisticated chips. So how many times greater must be the power and wisdom of the one who created us? Human beings were created in such a wondrous way and endowed with a soul. This is something extremely sacred and natural. Each of us has a soul. The destination of the soul is either heaven or hell. Where each soul goes depends on that person's faith in the God who created them and on their repentance for the sins they have committed. Only souls that meet the requirements of the Creator can be accepted by God and enter his heavenly kingdom. Second, working carefully and meticulously is also a form of cultivation and can raise the level of the soul. Life itself is a place of cultivation. Cultivation means cultivating the mind. So how should we cultivate our own soul? There is no need to take refuge, become a monk or nun, or wear religious robes. Sometimes it is simply a matter of doing our work well and being responsible for what we do. However, what is most regrettable is that many people see work as a kind of hardship, merely something they cannot throw away. In the eyes of some, the ideal life is little work and lots of fun and rest. They may really live like that, yet it cannot fill the emptiness and void of their inner world. Work can help people temper their temperament and cultivate moral character. Being diligent, hardworking, and devoted to your daily work is in fact one way of cultivating yourself, because it allows the soul to be tempered and to achieve a purpose in the spiritual world. No matter how rich a person is, no matter how powerful they are, when the course of their life ends, everything must be left behind in this world. Only the soul moves on to the next stage of the journey. A human life is not a lavish material feast, but the cultivation of the soul. By that logic, at the time the curtain falls, one must be more noble than at the opening. The souls we possess are all unique. You are the only you in this world. There may be people who resemble you, but there is no one exactly the same. Whether walking among a crowd or standing alone in a wilderness, you must bear everything yourself. Only you can shoulder it all. Joy, anger, love, hatred, and all human emotions and desires all arise from the heart, from the realm of the soul. If a person can live for their soul in both work and daily life, and their soul is truly purified and elevated, that is the highest realm of human life. Dear friends, surely you have experienced the pain caused by malicious words. They can come from anyone and make you feel hurt and miserable. However, our response in such situations is crucial for escaping the vicious circle of hatred. We may feel indignant, but we need to learn how to control our emotions and find ways to resolve problems calmly and effectively. For a truly strong person is someone whose inner world is quiet and still. First, a bad mood comes from flawed character. If one's character is not good, their heart can never be calm. There is an interesting story like this. An old man was crossing a river by boat. Suddenly, another boat bumped into his. He immediately shouted and cursed, scolding the person rowing that boat for not watching where they were going. Only afterward did he realize that there was no one in the other boat at all. It was an empty boat. Just moments before, he had been furious and resentful. Once he discovered the truth, his rage immediately disappeared without a trace. When something unfavorable happens to you, the thing that makes you angry is not actually determined by someone else or by that event, but by you yourself. Zhuangzi said that in life, do not always try to argue right and wrong or confront the whole world. In life, it is hard to avoid people and situations that displease us. At those times, just open your heart in tolerance and respond with a smile. A person who looks at anyone and anything and always finds it displeasing reveals that their character is too narrow. A truly capable person turns the people and situations that cause them trouble into empty boats. Essentially, they do not take them to heart. They remain at ease and free, with a mind that is always calm. Those who are unbothered by trivial matters and do not harbor thoughts of revenge are the ones who can quickly improve themselves, constantly expanding and elevating their character. Second, others hurt us because they themselves are suffering. The only reason someone hurts another person is because deep in their heart they are hurting themselves. They are bitter, critical, and offensive toward others because they are discouraged. Even if on the outside they seem full of confidence, appear strong and energetic, in reality their soul is fragile, their shoulders may be trembling, and they have to brace themselves just to keep going. Anyone who is truly at peace within will not belittle others just to make themselves look better. A person humiliates someone else because doing so makes them feel their own value is elevated. However, the truth is that the one who insults others is the one who is lowered by that very action. Real strength does not come from putting others down. In the face of attacks and malicious behavior, you remain yourself, someone who does not need to stand on others to raise your own worth. You will be strong, resilient, and will not feel that responding to those acts of malice is necessary. Third, the truly strong are those with a quiet inner world. It is an obvious truth that where there is cause there will be effect, and wrongful actions will be punished. You do not have to be the one to balance the scales of justice. Sooner or later, those who hurt you will have to pay an appropriate price for what they have done, in one form or another. And you, once a victim of malicious acts, become a spectator of the play of justice. They may never apologize to you, but they cannot escape the law of cause and effect. The corruption and loss of their true self is the greatest price they must pay. Human beings are easily tempted by revenge and tend to choose the easy path, but the only way to break the vicious circle of hatred is to go to the root of the problem, to let go of the pain, and to respond to cruelty with kindness, just as the sages of old taught. Learn to look at your enemies with eyes of compassion and sympathy. When you can do that, you have come to know a part of love called forgiveness. Dear friends, when people do good or do evil, they are both laying down the foundation for their own future. Some believe that whatever they achieve comes solely from their own effort triumphing over fate. In fact, from the perspective of the ancients, it may be that in previous lives they were good people who accumulated hidden virtue, which is why they can now succeed and become wealthy. Thus, doing good without seeking repayment allows blessings to quietly sprout on their own. Below is the story of an old man who, by doing good, indirectly saved his son's life. During the Qing dynasty, there was a merchant with the surname Zhang who crossed the Yangtze River from the north to Jiangning Prefecture to collect debts. He planned to return home for the Lunar New Year, just before the old year ended. With his belongings on his back, he left home very early, but had to sit and wait in the market for the city gate to open. After a while, Zhang became too tired, so he put his bag of gold and silver on the ground, sat on it, and closed his eyes to rest. When the gate opened, he hurriedly picked up his things and rushed out, but forgot the bag of gold and silver. By the time he realized he did not have the bag with him, he had already gone more than a mile. He immediately ran back in a panic to look for it, but the market was now crowded and the bag was nowhere to be seen. Frowning with worry, he searched all around, hoping that some kind person had picked it up and kept it for him. Seeing Zhang's anxious expression, an old man came over and asked what had happened. After listening, the old man invited him home to talk. That morning, when he opened his door, he had found a bag on the ground and did not know if it might be Zhang's. Zhang said that in the bag there were 2 packets, each with a specific amount of silver ingots. The larger one belonged to his employer and the smaller one to himself. The old man checked the contents of the bag, and everything matched Zhang's description, so he returned the bag to him. Zhang was moved to tears and wanted to give the old man a silver ingot as thanks, but the old man only smiled and said, "If I liked money that much, I wouldn't have told you about the bag in the first place, would I?" Zhang expressed his gratitude, asked the old man's name, and then went on his way home. While he was waiting for the ferry to cross the river, a strong wind suddenly rose and many boats were overturned, throwing passengers into the water. Witnessing this terrifying scene, Zhang's compassion was stirred. "Today I got my silver back. If that hadn't happened, I might have died here. I've truly been reborn." So he used all of his money to hire people to rescue those who were drowning. Thanks to his kindness, dozens of people were saved. All the survivors came to thank Zhang for saving their lives. By chance, one of them turned out to be the son of the very old man who had returned Zhang's bag of gold and silver. The young man, who had been doing business in Jiangbei, was on his way home when his boat capsized. Zhang was astonished. He then told everyone the story of how he had lost his bag. Everyone was amazed at this strange chain of events and felt deeply the heavenly principle that doing good brings good results. After that, the two families became in-laws. In this story, the old man was not blinded by money and did not ask for any reward. He not only saved Zhang in his time of distress, but also planted a seed of goodness in Zhang's heart, thereby laying the groundwork for his own son to be rescued later. Who could have imagined what would have happened if that old man had been seduced by money? Zhang might have taken his own life over the great loss, and there would have been no chance for him to save those people from drowning, among them the old man's son. Even if Zhang had not died and had compassion for those struggling in the water, he would have had no money to hire people to save them. The ancients said, "Doing good without seeking repayment awakens the goodness in others and resolves one's own suffering." Helping people in their time of crisis allows them to accumulate resources to do good and to later receive help from others. In the end, the people of old left us this advice. It is better to do a small good deed to accumulate blessings for the future than to watch morality decay in silence. It is better to help others every day, sowing the seeds of opportunity and relieving their hardships, than to sit there in disgust at the decline of virtue in the world. In life, we constantly meet different people and have different kinds of relationships with them. From close friends to strangers, from positive people to negative ones. All of them can influence our lives. There is a saying, "Near vermilion you become red, near ink you become black," to remind us of how important it is to choose the people we associate with. If we connect with positive people, we will receive inspiration and support. On the contrary, if we connect with negative people, we may be dragged down and lose our motivation. That directly affects the very quality of our own life. Because life is short, stay close to kind people and live alongside capable people. First, life is precious, so we should walk with upright, kind, and excellent people. Confucius said, "Living with good people is like entering a room full of orchids. After a while you no longer notice the fragrance, because you have already changed with it. Living with bad people is like entering a shop of salted fish. After a while you no longer notice the stench, because you have also changed with it." In other words, often living with good people is like living in a warm house full of flowers. After a long time you no longer notice the fragrance. That is because you have become accustomed to good behavior. Constantly living with people who are not good is like living in a seafood shop full of rotten fish and spoiled shrimp. After a long time you no longer notice the foul smell, because you have become used to bad behavior. The sage's words are a warning to us. When living with others, the first thing we must look at is their character. Usually, when you live with people who have positive energy, you become used to hearing good words, seeing good deeds, and naturally imitating their good behavior and positive speech. Over time, your heart will become broader and more generous. Likewise, living with people who have negative energy can cause you to unconsciously follow their mistakes and cover for them. Over time, it is hard to avoid damaging your own character. In the treatise on the response and retribution of the Supreme One, Tai Thuong Kamung Thien, there is a line, "As for a virtuous person, everyone respects him, heaven supports him, and blessings and fortune follow him." It means that one who accumulates virtue and does good will be respected by all, protected by heaven, and never need to worry about blessings and good fortune. All fields of blessings come from the heart. If a person's heart is kind, not only is their character noble, but every word and every movement is worthy of respect and imitation. Who would not want to be around such a person? Second, working with capable people will help refine your own abilities. Xuanzi once said, "A straight melon vine growing among thorns does not need to be supported to stand upright. White sand placed in ink will inevitably be dyed black." The story of Mencius' mother moving house 3 times is surely familiar to everyone. The environment plays a crucial role in a person's growth and in the cultivation of body and mind. The people we interact and socialize with are also an important part of the environment around us. We must choose carefully and not follow bad environments into degeneration. Such phenomena are very common in real life. With people of a lower level, the main topics of conversation are household matters. What they pursue is cash, wages, and daily income. Their thoughts are focused on food, clothing, housing, and small comforts. With people of a middle level, The circle of conversation revolves around current events. What they pursue is finance, economics, dividends, and shares, and their thoughts are focused on asset growth. With people of a higher level, the topics of conversation are matters from ancient to modern times. What they pursue are character and knowledge, and their thoughts are focused on how to serve society. Things of one kind gather together, and people are grouped according to their kind. The level of the people you stay with truly matters. The level of your partners does not only affect the effectiveness of your work and the development of your career, it even influences your whole life. There is a proverb: reading 10,000 books is not as good as traveling 10,000 miles, and traveling 10,000 miles is not as good as being helped by a wise person. If you fly together with a phoenix, you certainly cannot be an ordinary bird. If you run alongside a fine steed, you yourself must also be a good horse. When you are with hardworking people, it is hard for you to stay lazy. When you are with positive people, it is hard to stay depressed. When you stand side by side with wise people, you are certainly not an average person. When you take capable people as your standard, you gain the courage to climb to the summit. The way capable people think about problems always goes beyond that of ordinary people. That is because their starting point is different, so naturally their height is different. When the height is different, the view will be different. When you often walk with people of ability, you will see that your own ability and vision improve very quickly. Therefore, working with capable people is certainly the best form of practice. Third, spend your whole life with your loved ones and find your way home. The dusty red world surges like flowing water. How many people by your side can truly stay with you for your whole life? In the few short decades of a human life, our loved ones are the ones who live closest to us. Yet nowadays people often take their own family for granted. How many parents are busy with their work and cannot accompany their children? How many children are exhausted, wandering far from home to make a living, and cannot yet give their parents the simple joy of being together? Money can never all be earned, and work can never all be finished. But the time to accompany your family, the time of your children growing up, and the time of your parents growing old will never stop for our sake. Children grow up very quickly. If they lack love in their childhood, it will be very difficult to make up for it later. The elderly can pass away at any time, so we must hurry to care for them. Do not wait until the moment the children want to care for their parents, but the parents are no longer there. Spend more time with your loved ones. What you do today will become beautiful memories, turning into the most precious treasure of the family. Make friends with kind people, associate with capable people, love your family, be a good person, live an ordinary life, yet feel content and joyful. Dear friends, when our hearts hold kindness, tolerance, sincerity, and gratitude, we will realize that the most precious thing in our life is the inner peace and freedom of our soul.